How bad is it when a film adaptation of a video game franchise is more popular than the actual video game franchise? Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the sequel to 2020's live-action video game adaptation that was, much like other successful adaptations, appreciated enough to warrant what they're probably expecting to be an ongoing film franchise. But, we'll see what comes of that. In this film, Dr. Robotnik, played again by Jim Carrey, teams up with Knuckles the Echidna, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation of that, who's looking for Sonic as he turns out to be the key to finding the Master Emerald, which, much like the MacGuffin in every blockbuster, is a source of unspeakable power. Sonic himself gets acquired by a fox named Tails, and they embark on a quest to find the Emerald before Robotnik and Knuckles. This is all obviously an answer to the huge complaint about the first film being one big road trip movie, and if all this sounds more like it would be up your alley, I think you'll enjoy this fine. For me, the first film was a decent enough road trip movie that was amplified by Sonic's personality, but this one plays out more like a few stages of the game, with the setting being Earth. It's probably the best adaptation of a video game we've ever gotten, certainly the most creative to be sure. The characters are likable here as well. Sonic, Tom, and all the returning characters are just as charismatic and heartfelt as they were in the first movie, and once again, Jim Carrey brings his A-game as Robotnik, coinciding his manic behavior with the script's clever ways of making us believe he's a mad genius. As for newcomers, I really enjoyed Tails here. Unlike something like Hawkeye, where the fangirl comes off as annoying to Hawkeye, Tails is just as fanboyish, but Sonic, spending most of the first movie being lonely and emotionally destitute, appreciates someone, appreciating him, and they form a wholly believable relationship. The only character that I was a little split about was Knuckles. On one hand, pushing aside the fact that his voice sounds completely different from the game's voice.
Do I look like I need your power? As far back as I can remember, I've been living here on this dark island.
It's a little jarring hearing Idris Elba's booming voice coming out of this tiny body. There's one scene where Tails is trying to carry him and he says he's heavy, and he says, "Of course, I'm 1,000 pounds of muscle," and I'm just like, really? But on the other hand, it's hilarious hearing that booming voice say a lot of these silly lines. I won't spoil any here, because that's how good they are. But that's not the only flaw up this movie's sleeve. There's an entire subplot about Tom and his wife Maddie being at their sister's wedding, and it honestly did not need to be in the movie, and though it leads to a few funny moments, it overall dragged on for too long and just kept making me want to return to Sonic's Emerald Hunt. But I suppose one of the better complaints to have is wanting to return to the main adventure. In the end, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is one of the better and more creative adaptations of a video game I've seen. The characters are fun, the plot is reminiscent to the kind of game you can just pick up and play, and a lot of what worked in the first movie still works here. For me, it wasn't just of taking a video game character and inserting him into a film, it was bringing the video game experience into the realm of blockbuster cinema. I had a blast. I give this film an 8 out of 10 and highly recommend it to fans of the first movie as well as fans of the games.